know they're in a box.
All right.
Ready?
Sure.
Okay. So, once again, Matt, Kale, 3OC, right?
Kale 3OC.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to remember. Yeah, quite a few years ago, we did participate in Jamboree on the Air out at Chino Lakes, and that was thanks to Steve and Diane. Right? Remember that frosty October Jamboree? It was freaking cold, but it was a lot of fun. And here, there's another one coming up next weekend, so we'll turn it over to Matt, and he can talk to us about what's going on.
Sure. My name's Matt Cooper. I'm a Scoutmaster of Troop 38 here in Fairbanks. I have some jobs at the Midnight Sun Council as well. I've been ham for a number of years. Took a class from Eric a long time ago at Hutch. So there's been some interest in doing a Jamboree on the Air again. We tried to do one a couple years ago. Roger Weigel and Clay Craner came out to Lost Lake, and we set up a dipole, but it was too close to the metal roof on the lodge up there, and so there was a lot of noise. But it was fun. Scouts came in as part of a larger thing, kind of cycled through, learned a little bit about radio. So my idea was to try to do something maybe a little bit different this year, if it works out, if we have some folks who might be interested in helping. I know it's only a week away, so it's a little short notice, but we'll see. And if we can't do it this year, maybe it's something we can plan larger scale for next year. But the idea was to have a Jamboree on the Air in town in Fairbanks, so nobody had to travel out to Lost Lake. We could do it at some outside location, like Chino Lakes, it sounds like was the last place it was held, or if someone has a station set up that they wouldn't mind having scouts come and learn about radio at. All those options are on the table. Jamboree on the Air and Jamboree on the Internet is the third weekend of October every year. It's a World Organization of Scouting program, so the idea is that scouts here talk to other scouts across the world, either on the internet or over the air, and they have the opportunity to make contacts anywhere conditions permit, right? So there are more scouts in other parts of the world than there are in the United States. So scouting is larger internationally than it is here in the U.S. So the opportunities to talk to people from different and interesting parts of the world who are all part of the scouting movement, are pretty cool. It counts for a couple things towards their advancement. One is for citizenship in the World Merit Badge, they have to participate in an international event. This counts as an international event. And there's also a radio merit badge. There actually used to be an amateur radio merit badge, but they have kind of condensed some of those merit badges, so now it's just radio, and there's two tracks. There's amateur radio and broadcast radio, and so this would give scouts the opportunity to earn some requirements towards the radio merit badge if they're interested. With the Jamboree on the Air, there's actually not a lot of rules surrounding it. It's not a contest. It's just making contact, so you're not out there trying to, talk to certain people in different areas or get a certain number of contacts. It's just for the opportunity for them to learn about radio, talk to scouts around the world. It goes from Friday morning, the 18th, till Sunday evening, the 20th. My thought was that if we can do something, it would just be for a couple hours on one day, which I know is not ideal, but I think given a timeline, having a set time frame where folks could come and scouts could see radio in action would be pretty neat.
How many, do you have an idea of how many scout stations might be on the air?
I don't, but it will be quite a few. There will be a lot in the U.S., and there'll probably be even more internationally. There is a way, so we have to register. I know when Roger did it, he actually registered and got I think it's a K1 BSA call sign, so you get a BSA call sign to go with the station if you register it. There's a really long guide. It's like 52 pages, so I didn't print it out, but I can show you where it is. It's just they have a pretty good website, jota.info, and if you go to Jamboree on the Air, they have information about Jamboree on the Air. Like I said, Jamboree on the Air is more just like for making contacts. Jamboree on the Internet, they have all these programs and games and stuff, so it's basically scouts can log in on their computer and do different events. So Jota is a little more kind of freeform in what you can do, but the handbook has a lot of good detail on frequencies that are likely to be used, and it goes, all the full spectrum. In places where you can communicate with a troop across the street via VHF, you can do that probably in the lower 48. But
Well, I was going to recommend, actually, if
Yeah.
some of you are interested, we could, I'd be willing to make space in my junk pile called the Ham Shack for a few hours. But, if we could set up contacts, around the area, I think that would be pretty cool.
yeah,
How many scouts do you think you might have participating?
it's always hard to say. I've sent an email out a while ago. I've got some interest from scouts, but I would probably say anywhere from 10 to 20. I mean, it could be a handful, it could be a whole bunch.
And another possibility would be to distribute the scouts, like at Eric's place, my place, because frankly, I don't have room for more than about 4 people in my shack right now. And yeah, Eric's got plenty of space, so
What's that?
Depending on what you're gonna run.
Yeah.
You run FT8, you run FT8, you run phone, or you can.
yeah.
You can run all of it because,
Yeah, and they do have. I mean, you can make contacts all modes. I mean, there's Morse. There's people who are going to be using Morse code. There's going to be people who are voice. There's going to be like everything you can think of. So yeah, you might. Well,
Yeah, that's
they
right. Let's
used
go
to have
with
to learn that as part of the Scout handbook, but I think they got rid of the semaphore.
man.
Yeah.
Well, they got rid of the Morse requirement for ham radio too, so oh well. But yeah, semaphore would be kind of cool.
Yeah. So here's But this handbook is pretty good. It's long, but I like that it's pretty detailed about the different ways that people will be communicating. And it's good, like for the scouts, actually, it's a good thing for them to go through because it's got a lot of radio basics in it that they can kind of understand what's going on.
Well, that's pretty cool. I think this is really an important thing. Obviously we're, I see graybeards here. And I saw some kids earlier. Anyway,
What's that?
I'm gonna pick up them too.
Okay.
Questions.
the whole outreach is what we've been kind of emphasizing, trying to spread the gospel of ham radio. So I think this is a really good opportunity to do that. I would certainly support it, and it sounds like Eric is as well. I don't want to speak for him, but I think we could arrange something here.
Okay.
And you with home stations around the area could certainly make contacts on 2 meters and whatnot. So that sounds pretty good.
Okay. If you want to, between you and Eric, Larry, if you want to give me a time that you think works, and
Yeah.
I can start advertising it and getting
Okay.
people signed up for it.
All right. We'll try starting that tomorrow.
Okay.
And today's going to be a very long day.
Yep.
But now, do you get special recognition? Did your troop get special recognition for participating, or?
No, except for what I mentioned about getting some requirements
Yeah.
signed off. And
Yeah.
there is a special Jota patch because scouts have got to have a patch for everything, right? So we can order some of those for everyone who participates, both scouts and club members alike.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. Now, do you know of other troops in the interior that are going to be on the air?
So I think what we'll do, my idea was to do it for the whole council, so all of
Oh.
the troops together. So I know
Got it.
that Troop 1 has some scouts who are interested, and because Eric, you're out in North Pole, right?
No, I live up in Birch Hill now.
Okay, you're in Birch Hill now. Okay, I was say we got some troops in North Pole, and so if we had folks, that were close. Okay, yeah. So yeah, my idea was to get all the troops participating in one form or another. And this is open to both Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts. So if you are okay with Cub Scouts participating, I can ask the Cub Scouts. I know the Cub Scouts are doing a Jamboree on the internet event because that's kind of
Great.
they're going to be in the basement of the Methodist Church downtown on computers talking to folks.
Are there Sea Scouts in Alaska at all?
There is a Sea Scout ship in Anchorage, but there used to be one in Fairbanks, but it actually dissolved a couple years ago. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember some article I read about that.
Yep.
I completely forgot about Sea Scouts.
Yeah. And we're actually just getting a venturing crew started back up in Fairbanks. And so you have your traditional scouts, you think of wearing the tan scout shirts, and then venturing crews are kind of programs for older scouts from 14 to 20. And it's just, it focuses more on kind of learning through planning adventures as opposed to the traditional scout model. But so we just brought that back, and I don't know, maybe someday we'll get a Sea Scout ship back.
That would be interesting.
Down
Maritime
in-
Mobile.
Well, down in Seattle, they actually have a Sea Scout ship that has a real 40-foot boat, a motor yacht that they drive around.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So in places where you have maritime access like that, it'd be pretty fun.
It's really big in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yep.
I was
You were a Sea Scout?
Really? Wow.
years ago.
Turning on the way back.
Years ago? It's been a few years. It kind of helped me going in the Navy, and when I went through boot camp, they went, "Oh, you know how to march, and we'll make you a squad leader." I said, "Good idea. I like that one."
Cool.
So, any other questions I can answer? I'm excited for this opportunity. I appreciate your help.
Well, if you got kids, Steve and I, my son TC, he's over there. We're, I think, probably the most. I don't know. I could be mistaken, but most active on FT8.
Okay.
And we've got country counts that are way up.
Nice.
So
Nice.
for me, I got a little dog, but he's no big problem. He's gonna, oh my God, look at all the new people, But they can come out to my house. I don't care.
Okay.
My wife's gonna be gone. Last airline said, nope, you're not flying him to Palm Springs. It's too hot.
Oh man.
What?
So I have to wait till October 31st.
Really? Okay.
Well, I can't put him in cargo.
Oh, okay.
Underneath.
Do you have a sign-up sheet?
Right.
A sign-up sheet for
For either Larry's place or Eric's place?
not yet,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. So
Send me an email.
what I propose is to spread the word tomorrow and get some volunteers. I'm sure there are others that could accommodate some time and some scouts,
I won't tell my
and
wife.
then we'll go from there and
Okay.
get sign-up sheets and plan on it. So, so it goes for 48 hours, right? The whole weekend.
yep.
Starts at 0 UTC on Saturday, so that would be 4 o'clock. Wait, it's not. No, yeah. It's not daylight savings or standard time anymore,
Yep.
or yet. Yeah.
Again?
Yeah, that sounds pretty exciting.
Okay.
And I've always enjoyed times. I remember we had when I lived in England 100 years ago, we had a similar thing with the Scouts. I don't think it was called Jamboree on the Air, but it was a big deal for them.
For a long weekend.
So, yeah, this is a great recruiting opportunity. And
That's what I thought. It'd be a good idea for young, anywhere from all the way up to the 20-year-old.
yeah, absolutely. Well, anybody who hasn't really been exposed to the hobby. Yeah, by all means, you're on the group mailing list, right?
Yes, I am.
Then please send out an email saying, we're looking for volunteers to host, and then we'll create a sign-up sheet.
Okay.
And go from there.
All right. That sounds great.
Yeah, marvelous.
Neat.
Hey, all right.
Thank you.
Olga finally made it.
Yes.
Any other questions for Matt?
So, yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay, are we excited? Oh, Craig's good.
Well, I was just gonna ask, and I actually have a slideshow about this later on. Chuck, do you do any work with the Restoration Center down in Pearl, where I work? We generate a lot of old boat anchors for scouts for the Merit Badge and Jamboree on the Air activities.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so a lot of stuff comes from here, but not a lot comes back up here. But
Yeah.
we take a lot of the donated and leftovers at the Hamfest, as folks around here well know, take them down there and fix them up and distribute them to the scouts. So
Oh, that's cool.
we work with people all over the lower 48, but we'd be happy to get equipment back up here if there's people that want to operate, because that kind of stuff you can work on. You can solder on it and troubleshoot it with a VFM and things like that.
And I think it's stuff like that that the scouts really enjoy about ham radio, right? Is like some of the technical aspects, because you have scouts who are really interested in things like electronics and circuits and building things, and then you have scouts who are just interested in talking to other people, and so it's kind of got a wide range of. I mean, this has been something I've been trying to kind of prod along for a couple years, and so this was the furthest we've made it and do it.
Later on, and
all right.
For the show this afternoon, I'll make sure that we play that other segment that has about the restoration center.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.